husband and wife, they have the down payment, but they don't have good credit. So they decided, hey, one of my kid has good credit. I'm going to use that child to qualify to get the house.
Husband and wife, that's like almost like 50%. Then you have the son or child, that's 50%. So once the parents die, if it's joint tenants or right of survivorship, meaning their relationship with the son, then the son inherits 100% of the property. I always tell people, please, 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 just use the child as a co-signer. What's significant about this is that each tenant in common, each joint owner can sell their interest to somebody else.
Husband and wife, they have the down payment, but they don't have good credit. So they decided, hey, one of my kid has good credit. I'm going to use that child to qualify to get the house.
Right.
Meanwhile, let's make believe they have few other kids or 2 or 3 other kids. I want to hear what happens in this scenario, cons and pros, advantages, disadvantages.
So, the advantage obviously is that they qualify for the loan and they get the property, right?
Correct.
Now here's the huge cons, right? All right, so how are they going to take title? Right, so we're going to break down like the different types after we discuss.
So you're going to how the title is held?
Not right now.
Not right
first,
now.
Right,
okay.
right. So right now we have husband and wife, right? That's how they're going to take title, right? When they qualify for the loan. So it's going to be husband and wife, and then the son will be a joint tenant right of survivorship. Most likely they do. They're going to have the son as a joint tenant right of survivorship, or the tenants in common, right? So either way, something has to happen, right? Some kind of ownership there's a relationship between the mom and dad and the child. So a lot of people, when I see them meet them for contract signings, they don't understand. I have to take a few minutes to explain to them that once husband and wife, that's like almost like 50%. Then you have the son or child, that's 50%. So once the parents die, if it's joint tenants or right of survivorship, meaning their relationship with the son, then the son inherits 100% of the property.
What happens to the other kids?
They get cut out.
They don't get nothing.
They don't get anything. Right? So this is the catch, right? So when I say that to the parent, then they say like, wow, so what do we do? You know, and so what we try to do is to say, listen, put the child on as a co-signer, right? They say, oh no, I want to add all the kids to the deed, to the title. Again, that's horrible. Again, why? Again, taking these notes that we're talking about, right, in these sessions that we have with Brother Habib. Again, your property is now going to be right? Be part of the marital estate, right?
Yes.
So you're opening yourself up to possible divorce on the kids, and now your property now is in litigation, right? And you're not going to be able to keep it because somehow it has to be sold to satisfy, or those interests have to be sold to satisfy the in-law, right? So I always tell people, please, 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 just use the child as a co-signer, okay? And I know sometimes the child is really taking $50,000, $100,000 out of their pocket. That's a different story.
That's
right?
a different story.
They should be on title, right?
Yeah.
And they have their interest. But if you're just using the child, right?
Just
it's
to
your money.
Just to qualify.
Just to qualify.
Right.
I would not put them on. Tell your loan officer to just make them a co-signer, and they will not be on the title. They'll just be on the note and the mortgage, and that's it.
And that's about it.
Yep.
Now, let me ask you, that actually it leads me to this question. So how is the title held? That's one. And then I want you to go a little bit deeper. Types of ownership, tenancy in common, and joint tenancy with the rights of survivorship and LLC. Okay. I want you to take your time to describe, because I brought in so many things here.
So, and why is this important, right? So I'll go through them and I'll tell you what happens on each of those scenarios. So let's say you have two people who are buying a house. They can either hold it in what's called tenants in common. So each person gets to distribute their share according to how they want. All right, it doesn't automatically go to the other joint tenant. It goes to the heirs of the owner, the joint owner. What's significant about this is that each tenant in common, each joint owner can sell their interest to somebody else. So that's a bad scenario, because when you have person A and person B, B sells, A is now tied to B, the person that B sold to. Maybe you don't like the guy.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Maybe you hate the guy,
yes,
right? Or now, let's say the person that you sold to, that B sold to, he dies. Now you're tied to the person who bought B's share.
Yeah.
Their heirs.
Yeah.
How do you like to deal with strangers, right? You just have a property, you own 50%, and you're tied to the heirs of somebody you don't even know.
That's the tenancy in common.
That's the tenants in common.
Okay.
Okay. Joint tenants right of survivorship means that the survivor gets it, right? Basically, the last survivor gets it.
Right.
Again, little nuance on this one. They have the same right that, in the sense of the tenant in common, that they could sell their share. So always remember that just because they have a joint tenant right of survivorship doesn't mean that you will not be tied with somebody else. They can sell it. Now, so again, you just got to be very careful on these joint tenancies. Maybe have some agreements that you can do. Maybe you can put a restriction in the deed that prevents one joint owner from selling their shares. There's a couple things that you can do. That's something we have to discuss in private. But basically, the survivor gets it. So just be careful. So if you have two friends, both invested $100,000 in transaction, and they do it as joint tenants right of survivorship because they weren't thinking. Now, if A passed away, guess what? A's heirs just got cut out. A's wife got cut out. A's kids got cut out. By operation of law, B owns it. Right. So again, this is the thing that you got to be very, very careful on. So again, I can't tell you what to do. It all depends on the factual scenario, which one you should do. Then you have
the LLC.
The LLC, right? So in LLC, obviously, you're taking in a corporate form. Just like a regular corporation. Again, same issues pop up as far as ownership, but I would say that when you do an LLC you use it basically for investment properties. When you do that, and if you're going to join with somebody, just know the person. He's got to be like your best friend, because that person could. Because they're not recorded. None of these documents, all these corporations, all these LLCs, they're not recorded. So I can put you on, 100% owner on corporation, A, and no one knows, right? Because all you have to do is get copies of it.
নিউ ইয়র্ক থেকে সম্প্রচারিত TVN 24 টেলিভিশন বিশ্বজুড়ে বাঙালির কণ্ঠস্বর।